Everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Here we are on my YouTube and Facebook sites, and here we go again. Did you know that nobody ever graduates from this? Nobody ever graduates having it all, knowing it all, figuring it out for their own personal journey and weight loss and body. You know that, right? That we are continuing to always learn more and more about ourselves. Why? Well, one big reason is the internet, where you're watching me now. What would we do without that? We can do a whole lot of research on it. Another thing that is helping me right now is listening to people on the Keto Summit. And I'm about a quarter of a way through Emma, Maria Emmerich, and she is great. So if you can get free passes, I'm not sure when she was on, but I highly recommend her. Or if you find her on any YouTube podcasts or Facebook pages, her last name, just again, is Emmerich, Emmerich, Maria, and she has the most practical, wonderful approach. And she was, she called herself a fat little child, and did all the things that were politically correct back then. She looks to be like maybe the 30 side of 40, if you will, and so I'm really enjoying her. And she's a fabulous cook, I guess. So I'll learn more about her. But today on my walk, I listened to Dr. Ron Rosedale. And he kind of looks like, he had on a hippie shirt, like a tie-dyed type of thing, or maybe it was like a sort of crazy print thing. And he is a doctor. He's been around for a number of years. He's probably my age, over 60. And he spent years and years and years researching insulin and food plans and low carb, high fat, ketogenic, whatever you want to call all of this. And this particular podcast was about aging as well as all the little nuggets that I just mentioned. And he said what I truly believe, and he has a book coming out. It's not out yet, but I definitely would like to partake in the reading of that. You know me, 2 chapters in, and then I get another book. But he was talking about aging. And have any of you ever seen the Dr. Oz show, where, I don't know if he still does it anymore, I haven't seen it in a long, long time, where they can run a whole bunch of tests, and your biological age might be 42, but what you've done to your body with damage to your organs and maybe with weight and brain and everything else will show what the age of your body is. And so if you're riding hard and putting yourself away wet, with lots of sugars, lots of artificial sweeteners, with lots and lots of carbs that are not fibrous carbs. What is a fibrous carb? Broccoli, vegetables. So if you're running rampant, still having lots of grain type items, lots of sugar items, whether artificial or the real deal, you could be aging your body. Sugar is a great ager of your body. And of course, I could spend all day sitting at a grocery store watching people check out and seeing what they buy. Of course, if they saw me buy stuff for Greg and they thought I was having it, they'd say, well, she can get away with it. Well, no, I can't. I'm not buying it for me. Those goodies and num-nums and things made out of bread, I am not buying for me. Those are days long ago. And so we do contribute to our aging process with what we put in our mouth, what our choices are for food. So can we change that? You bet we can. So listening to him and hearing, age-defying sort of ways, how he reverses diabetes type 2 in hundreds, if not thousands of patients over the years by having them follow nutritional plans that he gives his patients. And they can get off all of the medication and have a healthy life, stop that aging process, and even lose weight. And so he's unorthodox, or should I say more like a functional doctor, and I really like that. He spent a whole bunch of time on triglycerides and blood sugar readings, glucose readings, and how if you're glucose adapted, how you will always struggle versus being fat adapted, and how to kind of go about it. He didn't give the nuts and bolts of how to get started, but he did it as if you have some inkling of what a low-carb, high-fat diet is. And there were a lot of questions about, well, what's the difference between that and the Atkins plan? And, in the old days when fat was villainized, like it still is, with some circles, that people ate the high protein to counteract the high fat, because there was still that fat phobia that I spoke about in another podcast. And so when you've got fat phobia and you think that low carb, high fat means, lots of fat off of pork chops, you're not totally right. That it's more about the healthy oils, the avocado, things like that, and nuts. And although some people might not process nuts the way that they did when they were younger, and there's only a couple of ways to figure it out. Try it and see how your body responds and digests things. Because as we get older, some of those things that we could have any time of day, any time of night, no consequences, suddenly aren't working. And he talked a little bit about that. He kind of grazed over it. And it was part of his, aging part of his discussion. And, if you're inviting things into your body that might have worked when you were 20, 30, and 40, and now you're 50 or 60, and suddenly those things don't seem to be working, your menopause is expanding, you're not as sharp up top in your brain as you'd like to be, your energy is, could be just called lethargy, and, exercise is something that like you groan about, as if that's going to burn calories, right? So there's a whole bunch of things that you can learn from this keto summit that might not have anything to do with keto as much as it does with the structure, the discipline, and the consistency of your food plan. So I just encourage all of you. It's still going on until the end of the first week in October. And, I guess it's this week. Maybe it's next week. Maybe it's 2 weeks long. Well, there's 31 guests, so yeah, it goes on for quite a while. You could learn a lot, and maybe you didn't ever know about these sort of things for your body, and now you can learn, and it's free, and it's just expanding. It's expanding your knowledge, which is powerful, because nobody's going to know your body like you are. Sure, you can have lab work done, but if you're going to a standard doctor who's reading your labs and already is going to be prescribing you statins and blood pressure medication because the labs indicate that, just know that Lipitor is the one that controls the cholesterol readings on your labs. That's why. And so if you're a female, your brain likes cholesterol. And I've heard that if you're eating cholesterol, that your body knows to shut down its own cholesterol making mechanism. And so just know that, there's a lot to be learned. Standard medical practices aren't necessarily so. They are funded by big pharma. Don't forget that. That pharmaceutical rep that goes to your doctor's office with cases and cases and cases of drugs just approved by the FDA, trust me, there's an agenda there. And so you just have to be careful. You have to be a little bit skeptical of everything that you hear and read, and trust your body. And the less medication that I have to have, the better off I like myself. The better off I feel I'm, metabolizing what I got. Medicine is food, and food is medicine. Hippocrates said that gazillion years ago. So if you're buying nice organic berries, if you're buying organic veggies, if you're buying grass-fed beef, Kerrygold butter, using heavy cream, buying the best of cheese that does not shredded cheese. You're actually going to learn how to shred cheese again because you don't want all the flip that shredded cheese over. That is not a time saver. It is a garbage. It is a garbage filler added to cheese so it doesn't cake. Shred your own cheese, buy the blocks, shred it to put on your fathead pizza, on your scrambled eggs, on the top of some soup maybe even on top of your veggies. Trust that this can work. Trust that you can do a little shredding of your own cheese. Trust that there's information out there that you might not know of that could help you, that could benefit you. You know, I started here to lose weight. Raise your hand if you didn't. I don't see many hands up. And so I stay here for the health benefits. I stay here because I want to learn how to keep off those pesky pounds. Right, Joyce? Anyway, this has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Have a most marvelous day. Continue to track. Continue to have oodles of water. Put some real fresh lemon in it, too. Detoxify. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. You inspire me to keep going. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.